Hey, thanks for coming back. And today I'd like to talk to you about a headphone stand, and it's from FiFine, and this is what it looks like right here. Now let's go over it. Obviously on the front you got this nice shiny piece of plastic right here. There's a little bit of protective film on there that I decided to leave on for the video, because once you take it off, it's off and it kind of ruins it. Right here is a touch control button. Of course, you got the FiFine branding right here. On the sides, there's really nothing. On the top, they got this nice little cutout so you can set your headphones in here. And it's a nice soft rubber. On the bottom, the whole bottom has a nice rubber pad on it. And on the back, you got some storage and the cable for the headphone stand. More in that in just a moment. And on the bottom, you got two USB ports. And this little thing right here is the on and off switch. Once again, more on that in a moment. Now, how to get the cable out, as you can see, you got two closures. You open them up, and there you go. You also get a nice little piece of plastic to protect the plug. And it is basically just a USB type A plug. Now, let me plug this in first real quick and make sure it's working. Okay, it's got to cycle through everything. And there you go. That's everything what it looks like. Now, to change the mode, you just simply press and tap that button, and as you can see, it's moving towards my voice. And if I press it again, it comes up to a different mode or a different look to it. If I tap it again, you have a different look. You got a total of 9 different modes of RGB lighting in this. On the bottom of the base, as you can see, it's lit up now. There is some RGB lights in there, and you can control that with this button. And once you press it, it kind of changes modes. And to turn all the RGB lighting off, you press and hold this button here on the back, and for about 2 to 3 seconds, and it shuts it off. The other good thing, though, about this, since it does have the 2 USB ports, not only can you charge a device through this, and just remember, when you're charging a device, you're only getting the 5 volts at however amps or milliamps your USB port puts out. So if your USB port only puts out, say, half an amp, that's the maximum amount of, or 500 milliamps. That's how much power is going to be coming through here. It's not a whole lot. It's not for quick charging, but you can put things in there like this. See, just to prove to you that there is power going to it, I got one of my LED lights I reviewed. So yeah, you can plug in, like, say, your phone or some other device in there to charge it, and it will charge it. You're also able to transfer data too, as well, through those USB ports. So you're not losing really a USB port if you were to plug this in. You're actually gaining an extra one. So you could put like whatever you want in here to do data transfer. You can plug in a USB headset while gaming, while using this. And that's about it. So let me kind of pause the video real quick, and I'm going to shut the store lights off so you can see this thing a little bit better in action. Okay, now as you can tell, the lights are off here at work. And I know the light is coming in from the doors and reflecting on here, so I don't know how much better. But there is the bottom. You can see it a little bit better now with it being a little bit darker in the store. And like I said, if you were to press the button, it kind of changes. the color, and that's it. Now, the one thing I did forget is this little symbol right here on top. They say it's a sound sensor. Basically, it's a microphone. So that's how it's picking up all my voice right now, and it's making this nice little thing. Okay, let me get the lights back on. Hold on a second again. Okay, now that the lights are on and you can see me a little bit better. Yes, so it's basically sound activated, whether it be your voice or if you have some music playing over the speakers or from your computer, that's how it's going to work. And it's not badly priced. It's all made out of plastic. So, I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTubers kind of complaining about this thing, saying, hey, it's kind of really built cheap and it's not worth the money. Well, I kind of disagree. I've seen people spend a lot of money on just a metal headphone stand, and the metal headphone stand really doesn't do anything. It just sits there and looks pretty, and people spent a lot more money on that than they did something like this. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Um, there is one thing though that I wish FiFine would have done with this. Maybe in their next reiteration or next model of this, they can try to do something a little bit different. The first thing I would probably suggest is, okay, if you have a headset that uses a gaming headset that's a USB headset, yes, you can use it. Great. But put a microphone and headphone jack in it as well. So if you don't have a USB gaming headset, or just a regular headset that has a 3.5 millimeter plug on it, that way you can plug it in here and still listen to your music, videos, and whatever, and game with it as well. So that will be a nice little touch. The other thing is I'd like to see them put in here is an auxiliary port, if you will. So, like, if I just wanted to have music, this thing going towards music and music alone, I can plug it in to, say, my phone or something else, and play a song or two or three or whatever, and it's going off of that. True, you won't hear it because there's no built-in speakers, but at least that way it's not going just off my voice and whatever sounds are around me in the room. So that would be really, really nice. The other thing too is I would like to see more control over the RGB light. The bass, fine. It just does its own little breathing type thing here. It fades in, fades out type of a thing. That's great. But when it comes to this little kind of, if you want to call it a fake spectrum analyzer, because that's what it's kind of mimicking, maybe have a switch where I can just have it on all the time, where all the bars are just lit up and that's it. That would be kind of cool. Or do its own little breathing thing, like have a mode where it goes through all 9 modes and it slowly does its thing and maybe breathe, slowly comes on, slowly fades out, that type of a thing. And the last thing I forgot that I wanted to mention, let me unplug this because I had it powered up with a power bank, is once you have this plugged in and you set your headphones on here, if you wanted to, you can stick the headphone cable in here, close it up, and you have storage so your cable isn't laying all over the place. The other thing I'd like to make mention to, these clasps here, these little enclosed or doors, if you will, they are a bit cheap. That much I will give you. I will say it's cheap. I mean, it does. If it is made out of plastic, like I said, and you could really see the where they connected it together, and it seems like it was kind of a quickly made thing. But I still think this plastic, the whole plastic body isn't that bad. Yeah, it can use a little bit better refinements, like instead of having, 2 separate pieces that are this big that are joined together, maybe have it where all the way up to here is the main mold and this back plate here is pressed in. So this line would be along this edge. So maybe that would be a lot better thing to have. And that would be my suggestions to make this a lot better item. The only other thing I could suggest would be make this for the USBs, that is, an external port with an adapter so you can plug it in and have a higher power output rating through the USB ports. Because like I said, most USB ports, standard USB ports, are like 500 milliamps, or basically like half an amp. You might get up to an amp, might. That's kind of pushing it. But it would be nice if they could sell, even if it's sold separately, where, like maybe on the back, around in here somewhere, you can plug in a power adapter, which will increase the power output, basically the amperage, of these two USB ports, so you can, charge something a little bit better, maybe bring it up to 2 amps or 2.4 amps, something like that. So, because I mean, let's face it, there's not a whole lot of things nowadays that are less than, an amp or lower. All phones, tablets, and everything else, yeah, they'll still charge, but extremely slow at about that 500 milliamp or half an amp power output. So if they could do something to help increase that, that would be awesome. The other thing too is, yeah, maybe add a USB Type-C port somewhere in here. And also, the captive cable, I wish that could be changed differently. Include 2 different cables. Maybe, a cable like this, USB-A to USB Type-C, and then a C to C cable, or USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable to plug in here, just to get with more modern laptops. And I think if they had this where it had the power cable was detachable and a USB Type-C cable, you'd probably be able to get a higher amperage out of these USB ports and faster data transfer. It's not bad in the data transfer. I was able to get up to, like, I think it was 32 megabytes per second data transfer out of these. And that's with my old laptop and, a memory stick that I was just transferring a bunch of data through and videos and stuff like that. And I was able to get up to 32 megabytes of data transfer with these ports, and that's not too bad. So would I recommend that you get the FiFine? Oh wait, let me plug it back in just so you can see it once more. Man, so would I recommend that you get the FiFine Ampligame S3 headphone stand? Yeah, it's not bad. It's kind of a cool little thing. I like it. It kind of, if I were to turn it this way, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Knight Rider, if you will. And I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm kind of weird, okay? And don't forget, if you wanted to change it, you tap that, and it looks a little different each time. And even in the instruction manual, they do, where is it? They do kind of give you a little chart of what they do right here. And it's a nice. I'll give it to FiFine. They really do know how to make an instruction manual. So if you can't figure out how this thing works, that's all on you, because that instruction guide is really thorough, and it makes a lot of sense. So once again, would I recommend you get the FiFine Ampligame S3 headphone stand? Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of like it. And the other thing I'd like to make mention too is since this is so wide, if your headband on your headphones are kind of thin, you might be able to get 2 of them on there. So that's another plus. So yeah, I would recommend you get this headphone stand. I like it. It's pretty kind of cool. Yes, I know there's other ones out there, maybe even cheaper, but just remember, some of those cheaper ones may not last you as long. They're a lot thinner. I've seen some that look really, really almost as skinny as this little shiny piece here. And it's like, really? It doesn't look very sturdy. And yes, they were still made out of plastic, but the FiFine one, since I've done a lot of FiFine products and I enjoy them and I think they're all well built, I think this one's well built and I think it'll definitely last quite a long time unless you abuse it. So yes, get the FiFine Ampligame S3 headphone stand. That's a mouthful. Well, if you happen to like this video, please give it that thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget about that notification bell. It would really help me out a lot if you were to share this video and maybe a few more of my others on all of your social media. And until the next video, you, your friends, your family, and yes, even all of your pets, you all have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.